Okay, hi, welcome guys. I'm still Ivan Emmanuel. This is Ivan Emmanuel Excel series. Today we'll be looking at some important parts or functions in Excel, like the round between, the referencing, sum, subtotal, if function, count functions. Now, since to make the you understand more, I made a scenario. Now, this is the scenario. The dean of the faculty is not convinced with the results submitted by the various lecturers, as over 60% of the students were reportedly asked to repeat the session. The dean decided to investigate the result for himself. We'll be working with a grading system or grading system table, rather, anyone you call it, so that we can easily use these functions to its fullness. Okay, now this is the Excel score sheet. This is the score sheet that the lecturers submitted. Look at, you can see these are these various departments and their score. Verse 105 is intro to accounting. Verse 109 is intro to marketing. Verse 127 is basic business theory. Okay. Okay. Now this is where we'll be doing all our calculation. This is where the team will be measuring or checking if all these things, if they actually pass or failed. Okay, now let me show you easy way to get a random score, because now this is a random score. These are random scores because you can't expect me to start picking scores for how many students. That is 482 students. No, I will kill myself. This is just a sample video. Just to get the random, so you can press equals to rand between. You see, rand between from 0, which is the lowest. The maximum score in an exam situation is 100. So you see, it will give you a random score. You can double click to spread it around. You can see. So this is how to create a random or random numbers. So I will just Control Z go back. Okay, you have understood how to create a random or random numbers. You can create random numbers from any number to any number. Random numbers. Okay, that's good. Very good and fine. Now, these are empty slots, and we have to put all these numbers in each of these slots. Plus 105, plus 109, plus 127. How can we do it? Let's make it very easy. Normally, we would have used an index or match or the VLOOKUP, but we won't be using the VLOOKUP or index or match today. Yes, we will not be using it today. We will be focusing on using the normal referencing, easy referencing, and then the if function. Don't mind my screen. Okay. Now let me show you. This is the easiest way. If the holes or the cells of each of the names rhymes with where you are referencing to, you don't need any special formula to get those values. You can just press your equals to sign and pick the first number. This is plus 105, and we are referencing to plus 105. Let's say, okay, let's press equals to. Okay, let's do it again. It's not doing well because I mistakenly went back. So equals to, you see, I'm pressing enter. Game over. Now you see all the numbers, all the scores that is here is now here. I'll do it for the rest like that. It's very easy to look back and pick the value, and here we go. We have all the numbers easily written. There's no special formula to do this. Just equals to pick, and here we go. Finish. You see, very nice and clean. Now we are done with that. Now, how can we be sure? Now, if you check this place my keyboard is moving, you will see that A is between 70 to 100, B 60, or that not between 70 to 100, but from 70 and above is A, B 60, C 50, D 45, E 40, and F below 39. 39 and below. Okay, let me make it less than 40 rather, to be better that way. Okay, yes, let me go. Now we will be using the if function. Now the if is a conditional function. I'm saying, okay, if this thing is like this, let it be like this. If it is like this, let it be like this. If it is like this, please do like this. If it is like this, do like this. That's what the if does. If does that. Index can still do it, but it's better let's use if function for this. Index can do it, no doubt about that. Even VLOOKUP can still do it, but we'll be using the if function today. Okay, let's press equals to the if bracket if logical test. This is my logical test. If this guy, if this cell is greater or equals to 70, which is this, comma, please give him a, okay, let me use this instead. Please, comma, this, you see, so that the work will be very easy. Question mark. Okay, if the same cell choose to be greater, the same cells choose to be greater or equals to this, comma, please write this. You see, this is very good. No, it's not. If this is choose to be greater than equals to this, please give him F5. Okay, comma, if cell this choose to be greater or equals to this, please make it this, comma, if brackets the same cell choose to be greater or equals to this. You see, it's very easy. Please give it this, comma, if cell, if same cell choose to be greater or equals to this, comma, please give him this, comma, if cell this guy choose to be less than this. You see what I did here? Okay, did not select. If this cell choose to be, okay, choose to be equals to this. You see what I'm doing? That is less than 40. Please, what should I give a this? Let's see how the formula goes. This, look at the count the parentheses. Now you keep closing until you have a black parenthesis. You see, this is the black parenthesis. Okay, now this is the logic behind it. You count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can count the parentheses. Now let's count the open parentheses. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this is 6. Now it started with a black parenthesis. So what concerns me, I just make sure that it becomes black. So before I press my enter key. Okay, what is wrong with this guy? Now let's read our formula again. Now let me tell you something. If you are using a grading function, now instead of using the equals to, now if we use the equals to, it is saying that if it is less than 40, it should show this, or it should be equals to this. We should instead use the less than. Less than will give you the accurate value. Now let's see, let's try less than and see what we get. Bam. Okay, this is F. For example, I type 39 here. Let's see what happens. Still F. If I type 40 here, what happens? Okay, this is A. This, if I type 70, is A. Now our formula is working very well. 50 is what? C. 49 is what? D. Now there is something that we notice in this place. Now after the first one, the second one, you can see things started going on its own, turning on its own. So let me tell you something. If you are using this type of way I did mine, the problem actually showed because of we did not reference each of these cells we picked the values from. Now we have to reference these cells. So at most times it is advisable that when you are using these formulas, be referencing immediately you are using. That is cell locking rather. Sorry, not cell referencing, cell locking. So for example, you can highlight each of the place your values are coming from. This G4, you press F4. F4 lock both the rows and the column. You can press it again to lock only the row and press again, lock only column, lock again, no reference, no locking, lock again, rows and column since you are looking at the rows and column. Okay, you can still pick again. You can even just lock only the ones with the number. That is only this one. You can remove this one and it will still work, but no need. Let's just still put it. Okay, let me lock all of them. F4 till lock. This one lock. You lock. You lock. You lock. Okay, everything is locked. Let's see. Okay, you see, very good. We have a clean formula. Wow, this is nice and perfect. And people are scoring one in this exam. No problem. Okay, the next one, we can do the if function. Instead of referencing the cells, we can type them manually. For example, if equals to if bracket this cell, normally we reference the cell we are picking from, is greater or equals to 100, comma, then show me a. Now if it is an alphabetical listing, you put a quote sign at the beginning and on the end of it. You can put excellent, you can put anything you want, but for this teacher we'll be using a. Okay, comma, okay, if it's greater than or equals to 70, okay, show me a, comma, if bracket the same cell is greater or equals to what is the next call, 60, comma, show me b. Okay, comma, if you see how I'm doing it, very easy. If comma the same cell is greater or equals to 50, comma, show me c, comma, I need capital letter C, show me c, comma, if brackets same value is greater, same value is okay, is greater or equals to 40, comma, please show me D. You see how I'm doing it, comma, if okay, for D it should be 45. Sorry, D is 45. If brackets the same cell is greater than or equals to 40, comma, show me E, comma, if bracket same cell is comma greater, so is greater or equals to, or sorry, is less than 40, comma, show me what, F, and this is, let's cover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, black. Let's go. Let's see. We got the same the same output. Let's change this to 49, and you see it's the same output. The now you see we don't need the reference because it's very easy. We don't need the reference for this one. But the first one, have the reference is we are picking from cells. The cells tend to shift as it's going down. But this one, since we are not picking the values from cells, we type them manually. We don't need to reference the formula. Okay. Now we can still do the same thing for this. You can copy this one. You can copy this. You see what I'm doing, and paste it here. Now you change this reference to table 127. Okay, 127, 127, 127, 127, 127, 127. Okay, perfect. You see, very nice. Now this is looking very clean. But what if one of the score here is 490? You see, it's still showing us A. By default, this is a wrong entry. So how can we correct this formula so it can see it as wrong entry? This is what we do. We come back to this formula, any of the formula that, or you any of the formula, you can start with another if from here. If brackets, sorry, this is not the bracket. If this bracket, this particular stop is greater than 100, comma, show wrong. Okay, I need wrong entry. Now look at the parenthesis did not end with a black one. So we have to remember to put this comma so that it will not show an error. So you have to add to the parenthesis to make it to have the last black one. So let's add one parenthesis. You see we have black one, and press OK. You see it's showing the wrong entry. Now, best practice, you start from the highest number. Best practice, you start from the highest number, which is 70 or 100. Like for example, if you are looking at higher numbers, you start from that one and descend down to the lowest number. Okay, for example, now this one is showing -10 or -10 rather. You see, it will still show F. So we have to still correct this one. You see, so best practice, you start from, normally I would have come back here and say if it's less than 0, show this. If I put it here, it will not give me the right value because here it should start from the highest and descend. You see 170, 60 downward. So I will start that argument from here. So let me do that argument here, comma, if the same cell, you see, is less than 0, show me lower than score. You see, so that we can know. You see, I've added the parentheses to make it black. Okay, let's go. Let's see. Okay, let me look at my formula very well. Okay, this is where the error is. I should have changed this particular one. Now we can't have two. We can't have two less down in one of the formula. So we have to take one. Okay, now this one. Now we have equals to greater than equals to 40 here, which is E. So this one will have to be greater than equals to 0, greater than equals to 0. So we know that when it's 0 to 39, it's F. Then when it is less than 0, should be lower than score. Now let's see if it works. Okay, perfect. You see it's working. Now let's say this minus 50 lower than score, 0 lower than F. Okay, you see perfect. Because nobody can score less than these two values, so it becomes a wrong entry. What if it's empty? Empty is F, so empty is equivalent to 0. So let's just give them a score. Okay, let's help them. Okay, this one we use the sum formula. We can do it this way, equals to sum brackets this to this. Let's see if it works this way. And perfect, it works. So you see, very nice and good. So how can we know if this guy is pass or failed? Okay, let's add another stuff. So we can add an average to average everything in this cell. So we can say equals to what? Average. That is the average of these whole numbers. Average all these cells that have values. That's what it means. Average all these cells that have values and close it for me. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't have even used this total. Let me use average. Okay. Let me just use average. Because average all these cells. I'm not adding a total. You see, that's average all of them for me. You can highlight here and reduce the decimals. So it wants me to highlight everything at once. Oh no. You highlight them and then you remove the decimals. You see. Okay, this is average. This is clean. I need it to be clean. So now we can't end here. So how can we know which one passed or failed? Don't get me wrong, you can still get the average by using this particular cell divided by 3. It will still give you the same thing, but I'm just showing you how to use the average function. You see, average function is just like your mean. Your mean is an averaging function. So, okay, let's proceed. Okay, that's good. So, how can we know who passed or failed? We can easily use the if function. Since we are using the if today, we'll be using the if function to still determine that. You can say, okay, the parameters to pass or fail, let's say it's 40% pass, less than 40 is failure. So we can say if bracket this place is greater and equals to 40 comma pass, then the first part, which is if it is not up to that, is failed. So we can just put save parentheses and put fail instead of typing so much formula. This will do. Cover the parentheses. You see, pass, pass, fail, pass, pass, fail. You see, very nice. So how can we know how many persons pass in PISA-admin? Okay, let's count how many people did the exams in each of the departments. We can say equals to count, because we are using the count function. This place count brackets. Okay, we can't. Okay, count only plus 105 as since it has value. You see? Okay, 482% sales plus 105 count plus 109. Okay, count plus, sorry, count, okay, plus 107. Although you can still call it, but let me not call it. I'm not calling it. Okay, let me call it rather. Okay. But before I call it, I have to know the name of the table. So to know the name of the table is very easy. Just click anywhere in the table and press Ctrl A, which is highlighting the table. And you see this is the name of the table. We can change the name here. Let me change the name to what? Compile, compile. Okay, this compile. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's say count. Okay, if I type compile, okay, the name I've not saved. Okay, let me see again. Come in. Okay, let me go to formula, name manager. This is the table I'm talking about. Change name to compile. Okay, so let me use this. You see the name I've changed for this one, the name I've changed for this one. You see, you can see it here. Okay, you can say okay, count compile. You see the name is showing here. I can double click it and it will show me. If I press this parenthesis, it's showing me all the headings or all the fields rather. I can choose 127 because this is the 127 I want to count 127 and then cover and see for yourself. What are you telling me? Bye. Okay, I've not covered the parenthesis, sorry. Let me cover it. You see that I highlighted it for them. Okay, very good. You see, very easy. Now we can still use the subtotal for it. Subtotal. Okay, let's use subtotal bracket. You see, with subtotal I can do your averaging, your count in max. You'll be wondering what is the difference between all these ones and subtotal. I will show you their differences or the differences now. So let's count with subtotal count, which is 2. That is the function. What is the name of the table? Compile. Compile is the name of the table. Plus 105 is the first one. 105 or 105, yeah. Then cover the. It's giving us the same value. I can pick here. Sorry. Pick here. Okay, let me change this one's name to 109 and 127. You see, I'm doing it very easy. Okay, now this is why it is different. Now, if I filter this particular field that contains or any field, subtotal will hold the total as is concerned the field, while normal count will just remain the same way. For example, let's say I want to check only accounting students, which is this. Let's see. To say okay, 77 accounting students did that course, but this one is still telling me okay, 482 students, because it cannot work with filtered details. It works with the complete details in the table. So you see, if I filter this for banking students, accountancy and banking, it will show me okay, 134 accountancy and banking students did the same stuff, but count remains in its own value. That's why if you are using if you are working with a table, it is advisable to use count the normal function and the subtotal of that function. Subtotal at most times can easily help you to get total or values of that particular is when filtered, except you are not planning to filter it. But when you are planning to filter, it's good to use the subtotal. Okay, let's close our filter for now and let's select all the shots. Perfect. Don't mind my screen. Okay, now count if is another special part of Excel that work with conditions. Okay, now let's see how it works. Count if brackets range wizard me. Okay, I will use the count ifs instead, since I'll be working with more than one criteria. Now this one is saying range and one criteria. Since I'll be working with more than one criteria, I'll be using the count ifs. Let me change this subheadings first. Subheading, you change to count ifs. Count ifs. Okay, now let's go. Count if. Okay, count ifs. Sorry. Bracket if criteria 1. Criteria 1 is what? Okay, criteria range 1. This criteria range 1. Let me highlight it myself. The next I'll call it out. Okay, range 1. Criteria range 1, comma, is equals to criteria 1. That is, if this side is equals to this admin, and criteria 2, this side is supposed to pass. Because now I want to know how many persons pass. Okay, this is criteria 2 is equals to what? Equals to what? Pass. Hey, I forgot to type pass somewhere. Let me just click here. I will name it pass later. Okay, let me cover it. Maybe only one parenthesis. So let me name here pass and here fill. Okay, so you see that is if then now this is how many business admin students passed, how many business admin students failed. You see. Okay, let me use a count if here. Okay, let me add. Okay, I can't add one of the other one, so let me copy and paste this one here. So it's for count ifs. Money. Count ifs. And this one is counts, only counts. Let me remove this my stuff. This only counts. Counts if. Okay, this how many business admin students. Count if. So we know how many business admin and how many field. Okay, counts range. The range is compile table. Compile table brackets departments. Okay, so departments. Then cover. Okay. This admin. Okay. So out of 136 piece admin, we have 98 that passed. Okay, let me copy paste this one here. Okay, very good. I like this. We don't need to reference the cell here. So you see. Let's see whether it's accurate. So if the values are accurate, so this is this. Okay, out of 425. Now we have more departments here that was not captured. Let's see. Banking, accountancy, marketing. Okay, I did not add banking. So you see, out of 482 students, so if I add banking, you will see that banking, but now let's just work with these four departments have 425 students. Out of that, in visa admin 98 passed. Let's see if the compile if okay, let me use the count ifs for this one. Count ifs brackets criteria range is if this admin okay if compile which is this compile departments. I don't have power to type plenty things, comma meets this criteria which is economics, you see, comma and compile okay, we have now closed this parenthesis. Okay. Please come on. Okay, comma the parenthesis. Means which criteria pass is see see out of 198. Can we draw? No. There is a problem why we can't draw because of we did not reference the pass and fail. So let's reference the pass and fail so that we can draw. That is the pass. We can just sorry cell lock. Let's cell lock. Let's cell lock F4. Let's draw. So we can see that so many numbers passed. Okay, is it? Very nice. So how can we know the percentage of people that passed or failed? How can we know? So let me calculate it for you. First, let's know total pass. Total pass we say equals to okay count. Can say count if brackets compile okay compile column one cover meet which criteria pass. See close and then let's see. Okay, 348 people passed. Then let's see if we can draw 134 people failed. Okay, is correct. So 384 people, 348 people passed, 134 people failed. Now let's know the percentage of how many persons passed or failed. So to know the percentage is a value divided by the total value in that particular site times 100. Okay, let's see the percentage of this, then we'll do percentage for other sites. This brackets, this value is this divided by this is the total count. This one we should use this, don't use this because this one will change if it's fitted. So use this one cannot change. Cover your brackets times 100. So okay, times 100. So we have total 72% pass. We can still use Okay, let's draw this formula down and see if we get our answer. Okay, okay, you see. So that is solved. Now let's know how many B's and many students passed out of, okay, that is this, I prefer this divided by, this is the total cover times 100. See, 72% is that being passed. So, let me draw it down here. It is pass ratio past each depth of each department. You see, so let's say we have exhausted what we do today. We have done the rand between, we have done the referencing, we have touched the sum, we have touched the subtotal, we have touched the if function, we have touched the count functions. We even touched things like average, don't mind my screen, like average function and some other things. Yeah, thank you guys for joining me to complete this video. It's not an easy ride, but you still stood to make sure we complete it together. You see, so we have about 72% of the students that passed, and just 27.800% that failed. Okay, what if this pass ratio is being increased to 60%? Let's see, if 60%, that is, people that pass must get at least 60 of the average. Let's see how many people will pass. You see, only 26%, only 26% will pass, 73% will fail. Only 23% for this admin, 27. You see. Okay, what if we change it? Okay, let's use 50 as the standard now. Okay, 50. You see, 47% this admin passed, 2% fail. Okay. Now we are done. You see, the more you change any part of the formula, the more everything responds accordingly. Let's filter only only pass people. Let's move the failed ones. You see, and we have 231 persons that passed in all departments. Only 231 persons passed. Okay, look at it. It's fine. You see, very perfect. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining me to complete this video. I remain Ivan Emmanuel. Do well to practice your Excel, because Excel has so many functions you can learn by yourself. So bye for now.